I never thought I'd be spending my brother's wedding day in a basement, surrounded by old boxes and the faint smell of mildew. But there I was, dressed in an expensive burgundy gown that cost more than 3 months' rent, perched on a folding chair beside the water heater. "The basement is good enough for you," my mother had smirked, adjusting her designer dress. "We need the main floor seats for important guests." Important guests? That's what they called my brother Michael's new in-laws, the prestigious Williams family, with their old money and social connections. Can't have the family disappointment ruining their perfect wedding photos. What my family didn't know was that I'd been secretly paying the mortgage on their dream house. This very house, for the past 3 years. $8,500 every month, transferred quietly from an offshore account they knew nothing about. Without my money, they would have lost this place years ago. But let me start from the beginning. 5 years ago, I was just another corporate lawyer, grinding away at a prestigious firm, living the life my parents had mapped out for me. Then came the cryptocurrency boom. While everyone else was buying Bitcoin, I spotted the potential in lesser-known alternatives. I invested everything I had, including my law school loans. My parents called me irresponsible, reckless, throwing away a perfectly good career for internet money. My father had scoffed. Michael, the perfect son with his safe banking job, nodded in agreement. Then the market exploded. My initial investment multiplied by 4,000%. Overnight, I had more money than I knew what to do with. But I kept quiet about it, continued living modestly, and watched my wealth grow through strategic investments. That same year, my parents faced foreclosure on their dream house, a sprawling Victorian mansion they'd bought at the height of the market. My father's business had taken a hit during the recession, and they couldn't keep up with the payments. I could have told them about my success, could have openly offered to help, but I knew they would never accept money from their irresponsible daughter. So instead, I created a shell company and bought their mortgage from the bank. Every month, I made the payments they thought they were negotiating with a faceless corporation. "At least Michael is making something of himself," my mother would say at family dinners while I sat there silently paying for the roof over their heads. Now here I was at my brother's wedding, banished to the basement because I didn't fit their image of success. Through the ceiling, I could hear the celebration in full swing. Champagne corks popping, crystal glasses clinking, fake laughter at unfunny jokes. My phone buzzed. Another cryptocurrency alert. One of my investments had just doubled in value. I was now worth north of $50 million. But to my family, I was still the failure who wasted her law degree. The basement door opened and my mother's heels clicked on the stairs. "We're taking family photos," she announced, not quite looking at me. "But don't worry about coming up. We wouldn't want to complicate things." Complicate things. Code for, we don't want the Williams family to know about our embarrassment of a daughter. I took a deep breath, fingering the phone in my pocket. One call to my banker would expose everything. One transfer would stop the mortgage payments that kept their perfect facade intact. "You know what, Mom?" I stood up, smoothing my expensive dress. "I think I'll leave early. Wouldn't want to complicate your perfect day." She looked relieved. "Yes, that's probably best. Michael understands." Michael understands. Michael always understood when they pushed me aside, just like he would understand when they lost this house. I climbed the stairs, passing my mother without another word. In the main hall, the celebration was in full swing. Michael stood with his new wife, Emma Williams, both of them gleaming with prosperity and privilege. His new father-in-law, a banking executive, was regaling guests with stories about his latest yacht purchase. My father caught my eye as I headed for the door. For a moment, something like guilt flashed across his face. But then Michael's new wife's mother said something, and he turned away, drawn back into their world of artificial perfection. Standing in the driveway, I looked up at the house I had saved, the house they had unknowingly lived in because of me. The grand Victorian architecture, the manicured gardens, the imported marble fountains, all maintained by my secret payments. I pulled out my phone and dialed my banker. "Ms. Harrison," he answered immediately. "How can I help you?" "The Morton Valley Property Management account," I said, watching the party through the windows. "I want to stop all payments immediately." "The mortgage payments for the property on Maple Grove Drive?" "Yes, no more payments. And I want you to send a notice to the holders of the mortgage first thing tomorrow morning." "Of course. Should I include your name in the correspondence?" I thought about my mother's smirk, about being hidden in the basement, about years of being treated like a family embarrassment. No, I replied. Let them find out when the bank calls. After hanging up, I stood there for a moment longer, watching the shadows dance across the windows of their perfect house. Tomorrow morning, their world would come crashing down. Tomorrow, they would learn that their safety net wasn't a generous bank or my father's business acumen. It was me, the daughter they hid in the basement. I slipped into my car, not the modest Honda I drove to family events, but my real car, a Bentley I kept hidden at a private garage. As I pulled away from the house, I caught one last glimpse in my rearview mirror. They were all gathered at the window, champagne glasses raised, celebrating their perfect family moment. By this time tomorrow, everything would change. The next morning, I sat in my real office, not the small law practice they thought I ran, but the top floor of a gleaming downtown tower. My cryptocurrency empire had expanded into a full-scale investment firm. The woman they considered a failure managed billions in assets for clients around the world. I waited for the call I knew was coming. At exactly 9:15 a.m., my private line rang. It was my father. My father's voice trembled on the line. Sarah, something's wrong. The bank, they're saying our mortgage payments have stopped. They're threatening foreclosure. I leaned back in my leather chair, looking out over the city skyline. Really? How unfortunate. I don't understand. We had an arrangement with Morton Valley Property Management. They've been accepting reduced payments for years. Yes, I cut in. About that, Morton Valley Property Management is one of my companies. Silence. Then, what? I bought your mortgage 3 years ago, Dad. Every payment, every extension, every act of generosity from your property managers. That was all me. I heard him sink into a chair, his breathing heavy. That's impossible. You're just a small-time lawyer. Am I? I pulled up my company's website on my screens. Why don't you Google Harrison Global Investments right now? I heard keyboard clicks, then a sharp intake of breath. My company's homepage showed our current portfolio value, $4.2 billion in assets under management. This is yours. CEO and founder, I confirmed. That internet money you mocked me for, it was just the beginning. I built an empire while you were hiding me in basements and pretending I didn't exist. The door in the background opened on his end. I heard my mother's voice, shrill with panic. Henry, the bank says we have 30 days before they start foreclosure proceedings. Put me on speaker, I commanded. When I heard the click, I continued. Hello, Mom. Enjoying the morning after your perfect wedding? Sarah? She sounded confused. What are you doing on the phone? We're in the middle of a crisis. Are you? Let me guess. Morton Valley Property Management suddenly stopped accepting your payments. The bank is demanding the full mortgage amount. How did you? Wait, what's going on? Remember yesterday, my voice was ice cold. When you put me in the basement because I wasn't good enough to be seen with the Williams family? Turns out I was good enough to pay your mortgage for the past 3 years. Dead silence. That's right, I continued. The daughter you were so ashamed of has been keeping you in that house. Every payment, every deferral, every bit of luck you thought you had with your mortgage company, that was all me. But you're just. My mother stuttered. Just what, Mom? A failure. A disappointment. Why don't you check your phone? I just sent you a link to Forbes' 40 Under 40 list from last month. Look who's number 8. I heard more frantic clicking, then a gasp. The article featured a photo of me in my real office, detailing how I'd built a multi-billion-dollar investment firm from an early cryptocurrency success. This is impossible, my father whispered. The impossible daughter you hid in the basement is worth more than the Williams family you were so desperate to impress. Ironic, isn't it? The bedroom door opened again on their end. Mom, Dad, what's going on? Michael's voice. Emma's parents just called. They're asking weird questions about our family finances. Oh yes, I added. I should mention, the Williams family are actually clients of mine. Mr. Williams just texted me asking why my own parents didn't have me at the main wedding table. Imagine his surprise when he learned I manage half his family's wealth. I heard Michael sink into a chair. Sarah? What's happening? What's happening, dear brother, is reality. The sister you were too embarrassed to seat with your in-laws is the financial advisor they trust with millions. The daughter our parents pushed aside is the only reason they still have a house. But why didn't you tell us? My mother pleaded. Tell you? I laughed coldly. Every time I achieved something, you dismissed it. When I made my first million, you called it fake internet money. When I started my company, you said I was playing businesswoman. So I stopped telling. I watched you praise Michael's minor promotions while I quietly built an empire. We can fix this, my father said quickly. We'll make it up to you. Just, please don't let us lose the house. The house? I clicked my tongue. You mean the house where you held a wedding and hid me in the basement? That house. Please, my mother whispered. We'll do anything. Anything? I paused. Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm sending over a courier with 2 documents. The first is a check for $300,000, the exact amount I've paid toward your mortgage over the past 3 years. You're going to take that money and catch up on your payments. Thank you, my father breathed. Thank you whenever. I'm not finished, I cut him off. The second document is a press release. It announces that Harrison Global Investments is opening a charitable foundation. The first donation will be your house, once you sign it over to me. What? My mother gasped. You'll continue living there, I explained. But as tenants, every time you walk through those doors, you'll remember that your basement-dwelling daughter owns the roof over your head. Silence fell again. Those are my terms. Either sign both documents or start packing, your choice. I could hear them whispering frantically to each other. Finally, my father spoke. We'll sign. Good. Oh, and one more thing. I'm hosting a corporate gala next month. The Williams family will be there, along with half of Wall Street. You're all invited to sit at the back. I hung up before they could respond. An hour later, my assistant brought in the signed documents. My parents' signatures looked shaky, their pride finally broken. Michael had signed too, his perfect world crumbling as he realized his embarrassing sister was now his landlord. I picked up my phone and dialed Mr. Williams. Sarah, he answered warmly. I was just about to call you. The most extraordinary thing happened at my daughter's wedding. Yes, about that. I smiled. I'm hosting a gala next month. I'd love to have you and your family at my table. We can discuss that investment opportunity you mentioned. Of course. Though I must say, I'm a bit confused about yesterday. Why were you in the basement? I finished his question. Let's just say I was conducting a little experiment in humility. Speaking of which, my family will be attending the gala as well. Perhaps you could help me decide where to seat them. After hanging up, I walked to my office window. In the distance, I could see my parents' house. My house now. The morning sun glinted off its windows, a reminder that sometimes the best revenge isn't just success. It's making them live with the knowledge that the child they banished to the basement now owns their world. I picked up a photo frame from my desk, the only family photo I kept. It showed a younger me standing slightly apart from the others, already being pushed to the margins. I placed it face down in a drawer. Then I opened my laptop and began planning the seating chart for my gala. I made sure to put my family's table right next to the kitchen entrance. After all, the basement wasn't available.